integrity over everything. Service before self. Excellence everywhere. You get to choose what you're going to be an overbeliever in. All right, here we go. I got 2 words for you today, 2 words, here they are. Speak loudly, speak loudly. You know, one of the things that athletes across the state tell me again and again about leadership is they say, Mac, I can't be a leader because I don't speak. I don't like to stand up and give speeches. I'm not very loud. I'm not a talker, so I can't be a leader. But you know, the truth is, to be a great leader, you don't have to be the loudest leader. You don't have to speak loudly. But what you do have to do, if you want to be a leader, whether it's on your team or your community, in sports or in life, what you have to understand is that great leaders don't have to speak loudly, but what they have to understand is that their actions will always speak loudly. That whether you speak or not, your body speaks. You see, the truth is that our actions speak so much louder than our words that people tend not to hear what we say until they judge what we do. In other words, that we cannot build trust simply by speaking with our tongue. We must build trust, which is the currency of leadership, by speaking with our actions. That we build trust amongst teammates. We build trust amongst our teachers. We build trust among other people by what we do, even if we never speak. Let me show you what I mean. Think about showing up on time somewhere. When you show up to a place prepared and early, what that communicates without you saying a word is your desire to be there. Your commitment. It communicates your preparation. It communicates your discipline. It communicates that this is somebody who is willing to put out to get out. They're not just going to show up and take. You see, by simply showing up early and prepared with a great attitude, all of those things are communicated even if you never speak a word. Think about your body language in the midst of a difficult workout. When you're running sprints, when you do this number right here, what does that communicate? It communicates that the workout is beating you. But what happens when you stand tall? What happens when even though your lungs are on fire, your legs are burning, and you put your hands here? This communicates something entirely different. It speaks that as tired as I am, I'm going to stand tall because I know when I stand tall, can't nobody ride my back. I know that when I stand tall, I communicate to my opponent that even though you've brought all you think you can bring, you ain't brought enough to beat me yet. Your body language speaks so loudly that you don't have to say a word in the midst of competition. Or think about this, the power of a smile. When you smile and you show those pearly whites, boy, and you smile big, it communicates and it changes how people receive you. Think about this. If I say, I'm so excited to be here today. Look at my face. My words say I'm excited, but what did my face say? My face said, I'm forced to be here. My face said, there's someplace else I would rather be. My face says, I don't care what you have to say. I'm just upset that I got to be here when I'd rather be somewhere else. But watch the power of a smile to change the interaction around you, to change the environment. Boy, when I come in with a smile, I'm glad to be here. Not a place in the world I'd rather be. My face communicates that my words are trustworthy. My face speaks so loudly that what I say almost becomes irrelevant. But you got to understand, something like a smile doesn't just change what's happening around you. Actually, science has shown that when we smile, it changes what happens within us. that I'm willing to bet that the same thing is true when I am prepared and I lack stress, I lack worry because I'm prepared for what I can be confident. It changes how I feel on the inside. Some of you are so stressed and overwhelmed and worried about doing things, not because you aren't capable, but because you don't prepare. Your actions begin to speak negatively to your mind. Oh, our body language. When we stand tall, it changes the language, the story that's being told in here. But when I have that negative body language, it tells my body something negative is happening. When we smile, changes from the inside out. And when we don't, when our brow is furrowed, when we have that pissed off look on your face, it tells your body something's not right, and it responds accordingly. You got to understand, friends, to be a leader doesn't mean that you speak the loudest. It means that you understand your body will always speak loudly and you act accordingly. And so, friends, here's what I want to challenge you with. To be a great leader does not simply mean that you speak loudly. What it means is that you speak loudly with your actions. DeShane Stokes put it this way: if your actions do not live up to your words, you have nothing to say. And there are too many people who think being a leader is just chip chirping and saying stuff without doing stuff. It's professing something without practicing something. And I want you to be the kind of young men and young women that act first and speak second. That speak loudly with your actions and loudly with your words second. Because make no mistake, when you begin to speak loudly with your actions, trust will be built and people will begin to follow you. Even if you're not the team captain, even if you're not the #1 all-star, even if you're not the senior, people will see what you are doing, that it is worth imitating, worth following, and they will begin to follow you. And when that day comes, because it will, when you see situations in which action alone is not enough, but that you must also speak loudly with your lips, you must speak up. When you see people being devalued in the hallway or in the locker room, when someone looks at the color of someone's skin, at their beliefs, at their orientation, when they look and they see somebody that's different than them, and rather than elevating their differences, rather than elevating and celebrating the uniqueness that is them, they begin to devalue that person. In that moment, to do different is not enough. You must speak against it. You don't have to be an activist, but when it's time to speak up, you must speak up. When you see your teammates not living up to the standard, it is not enough to be the example, but you must be the example and lead and speak up and speak loudly and say, that's not who we are. That's not what we're about. That's not what we do. That when negativity and doubt begins to creep up, you can't simply speak loudly in that moment by your example, by the way that you work. You must smile and you must speak encouragement to your teammates. Things that are genuine and truthful and specific. You must speak hope. You must speak belief that what is possible might grow. You don't always have to speak loudly to be a great leader, but when the time comes, you must speak loudly in your actions and you must speak loudly in your words. Listen to me, friends. I don't know your goals or dreams, big or small, short-term or long, but I do know this. If you want to find success in the game of sports, in the game of life, let's not complicate it. It's as simple as 2 words. You got to speak loudly. Let's have a good one today.